from Hasbro TV, back another video. And Seb with Jack. Jack, how's it going, man?
All good, man. All good. Seen a lot of news running about the place, and everything's just going on, and hopefully most of it is actually true. So we can hopefully find
For
out.
once, we have actually got a lot to talk about, like positive.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm going to get like the boring stuff out of the way. Well, I call this boring, but you know more about me than me about this. So just about the friendlies, because obviously we've played all the friendlies now. Do you think any of it, like obviously you played, for example, Mikey Moore and Tell on the wings in the last game I saw. Do you think the friendlies were any indication about how we're going to do this season? Sorry, coming up, or is there any players you think are going to be like standouts because of it, or because I've only seen highlights. So for example, for me, I've only really seen like a lot of someone like Tonali, for example, who I thought in preseason in the highlights he's looked really good. But I don't really know about like the youngsters like Lucas Williams and Barnett, and obviously Mikey Moore, and because apparently he was good against Hoffenheim. And Tell, I mean, I just read mixed reviews kind of with that. So you have to just enlighten me. So what would you say like about it in general? Like who stood out for you? Like who do you think is definitely going and stuff like that in general, really?
It's hard to justify, to be honest with you. I mean, I personally think when it comes to all these preseason games, you can't read into it as much. I don't personally read into it as much because it's teams that you never really play. Well, bar Chelsea, where we play on a season basis twice, and if cup games or anything else like that. So that's probably the only game that I realistically looked at in retrospect. But at the same time, I can't because we still haven't got all of our players back in full fitness or just back in general. It's only just come out that Kudos is sort of almost on his finishing road of recovery. He's now back in Ghana at the moment. Some family business and stuff like that. Dom Solanke's back in training properly, which is good. Kulusevski, he is in training, but we haven't heard much about that since that point. Wilson Odebert's still out. Xavi is still out. Both sort of road to recovery. We signed no forwards, so I think for Brentford we're going to have to deal with Richarlison if Solanke's not fully fit for Brentford. Obviously we've made outgoings, made incomings. Don't know what's going to happen with the likes of Mikey Moore because that whole loan deal with FC Köln is still frozen. I don't know if anything's come out about that yet, but it's gone very quiet in that area. But the main thing is that we've made a lot of signings that we needed to, and we've made a lot of outgoings that definitely needs to happen. We need to get a lot of people off of the books in order to be able to afford the players that we've not only that we've got, also the ones that we're actually thinking of now. So that's why I don't really want to look into preseason stuff too much. Don't get me wrong, we was unbeaten in every single game. I'm happy with that. That's probably one of the best ones that I've seen in a while. So I'm not going to grumble and take the piss out of it because it's good. But at the same time, we're not playing Hoffenheim every week. We're not playing all the teams in Australia every week. Yes, we are playing Chelsea most of the time, but they had a 10 times better squad out than we did. I'm not being funny. Danzo came on, got a red card, and Richarlison, in Richarlison fashion, scores a tap in to make it 2-1 to finish. So, is that going to happen in the Premier League? Very unlikely, because we like to lose a lot to Chelsea in the last recent years. I don't really know how we're going to favour when it actually comes to the Premier League. But if we can get some actual players in, i.e. front forward players that we actually physically need, which I've been waiting ages for. Well, I think all Spurs relate. Any Spurs fan people have been waiting for up top. Well, one person, especially 2 years, but the rest of the time it's been since Harry Kane and now also since Son, because I love Matisse Tell. He has shone a lot in this preseason, but the main thing that made him stand out to me in the pre-season was that nice free kick he scored in Sydney. Now, do I think he's going to do that on the Premier League stage? To put it bluntly, fuck no, he isn't, because the goalkeepers are 10 times better than that guy in Australia. No fault against him. I'm sure he is very well respected, but when it comes to Premier League, he hasn't cut it yet. So if he can do it in the Prem, fair play, I'll keep my mouth shut. But we'll have to wait and see until that point if he can do it physically in the Premier League. But I think that's the main person that I'd say shines out to me. Do I think Fernandes has shone out after that first goal that he scored, which was an absolute belter, don't get me wrong. Again, you're doing it at Hotspur away against a lower league side. Do it in the Prem. That's the first thing I said. When I saw the goal happen, I was like, oh my God, do it in the Prem. Like, that's the first thing I said.
Yeah.
Now, he's not a shit player, which is the reason why we bought him for the money that we have. But am I going to see him? Are we going to see him do this every week? No, we're not. But everyone would love to see it because the two 17th places that we've had for the last 2 seasons. So, do I think tonight's going to be great? He's been phenomenal playing in pre-season. He's been tracking back, tracking forwards. He scored a few goals. I'm happy. I'm really happy that we've got a player like him. I just want to see him do it now, Premier League wise. Do I see him starting on Saturday? 100%. But I just want to see how De Zerbi's going to fit the players around, because I don't think we've really seen De Zerbi ball yet, because he doesn't want to give too much away during pre-season. He wants to start implementing his tactics and implementing his thoughts and findings when the Premier League starts. So I think Saturday we'll see our first small glimpse of De Zerbi ball, whether we get these 2 potential signings over the line now. Well, potentially three if the team that I want, if the third one, his team wants to pull the finger out and sign the player they want to sign. So it could potentially be 3, which would bolster our front line completely, and it would leave space for us to move other players on who De Zerbi doesn't think is going to be in the starting lineup, or he thinks isn't good enough or won't cut for this season, where we're trying to do a massive rebuild. So, the pre-season was great. Loved it. Always love watching pre-season. I've just missed club football since the World Cup. All the controversy and stuff like that going on, I was getting too pissed off and bored with it. Obviously, happy with Pedro Porro winning the World Cup over Romero, who is now gone, finally, after last year. But it's now time for the Premier League's about to start. 2 days. Well, tomorrow, but we're watching that's Scum versus Coventry, and praise to God if Coventry do them in. But Saturday is when the Premier League for us, the actual Premier League starts. Our rebuild finally comes into fruition, and I can't wait to see it. I'm really happy with the signings, really happy with the outgoings. I just can't wait to see it. I'm ready. I'm ready for football. I've got my new Spurs shirt ready for this season. I'm on it. I'm ready to go.
I was going to ask you, because I looked through like the minutes that some players have played during pre-season. For example, Maddis has only played like, was it 45 or something like that? And then obviously Kudus has played 0, I think, and like Solanke's played 0. But the reason I bring up Solanke is because from the reports, it seems like we want to sell Richarlison and keep Solanke. And I don't know if you saw on Instagram, I was very surprised. I saw him post like him in the kit or something, which maybe he's trying to say that he's fit to play, because I heard that I think De Zerbi said he's fit to play. So like, say we don't get the people over the line by midday tomorrow, because I think they need to be registered by midday tomorrow, from what I know of from before.
Yeah, so they need to
what's
be
our front
registered by
line going to
midday
look
the
like?
day before.
What's our front line going to look like? That's the thing.
Well, we haven't got a right wing. Realistically, we haven't got a right wing. Kudos is still out and now is back in Ghana. Kulusevski is out. Xavi Simons, who possibly could play there if we need him to, is out.
He's out. Yeah.
Richarlison can move over into the wing positions. Then we haven't got a striker. So he's the only striker that we realistically have. With Solanke, the whole stuff with Solanke in a top, saying ready for game week 1.
Yeah, that's what he said. Something ready for go.
Does that mean that he's fit and ready unless I'm being told, or does Zerbi saying to someone who's then telling someone else, who's then phoning a friend and then telling everyone else on every single social media that he's fine and he's fit and ready? I don't know, because I think, don't get me wrong, Richarlison's been our number 9 for years. He has had shit seasons and he's had good seasons, not just for us, but also for Everton as well. At the moment, I think he's slightly coming off of that, which is a shame, because on his day he can be amazing. But remember, I'm trying to say, remember that far back. Remember the first game of the season for us, the Kudos and Richarlison link up, 2 goals.
Yeah. Everyone thought they were going to be like a really good duo together. I remember,
Yeah,
the
and then it
3-5-2.
just fell off after that, and Richarlison still managed to get our 10 goals just by doing what he did. But it's the front line. If we don't get the signings that we want in by 12 o'clock tomorrow, our front line is going to be Matisse Tell on the left, Richarlison in the middle, and it's going to have to be Mikey Moore on the right. So we can't let him go out on loan because we don't have anyone else. If we get the signings that we're going to speak about in a minute over the line, he can fuck off to Germany if he wants. He can go and have first team football, and he can go be great over there. And then when he comes back, does Zerbi then make his decision if he's going to be proper rotating right winger? Which, if Kulusevski's back and Kudos is back, it'll be hard for him to get that spot. But Mikey Moore is whatever. Well, since way back when, is meant to be like the next big thing for English right wingers. So I want him to play for Spurs. So I wanted Will Lancashire to play for Spurs, but he's now gone to Middlesbrough, and in the first 2 games, he's been fucking phenomenal. So he's found.
Yeah, I know. I was, to be honest with you, I know it sounds weird. But I'm in the minority here. I'd rather keep Lancashire and Richarlison, or either of them, rather than Solanke. Like, I'm kind of like just like.
Yeah, this is where we're going to disagree, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Only ever so slightly. I would have kept Will Lancashire regardless, because he's been working his arse off to try and get in the Spurs team. But De Zerbi has that thing where he, with this rebuild, he needs ready players now.
Ready-made
players. Ready-made players, already been in the oven and certified and done. So that's the players that he wants now. Will Lancashire isn't one of those players, and I get it. Could I see us maybe buying him back if he certifies himself? Not just at Middlesbrough, but if he goes somewhere else and certifies himself even more. Most likely a few years down the line, we probably could. But at the moment, it's not a conversation that we need to have. On the topic of Solanke and Richarlison, Solanke is better on ball, much better on ball than Richarlison, especially with hold-up play, getting the ball forward and getting himself forward. Richarlison's better in the air because he's just that slightly taller, and with his Brazilianness, he's got 10 times more flair. But he can be very flat-footed. He clearly skips out on sprint training because he can't get to the ball as quick as what other players can. So look, if he worked on himself a lot more, which is including sprint training and just being a bit more composed with himself when he's trying to get the ball, he'll still be a really, really good. He'd be a really, really good striker. I think there's clearly some small bit of maybe laziness when it comes to his training, where he wants to just shoot, and then when he's actually there, if he gets a tap in, he's happy. But we need a striker who's going to be just firing balls when the keeper's not realising. Because the last 2 years we've been trying to work our way around the players and score the perfect goal by getting through the team and everything else. We can't keep doing that. If we see the opportunity where a shot can just be hit just to have some shots on target and test the keeper, I'd rather us be testing the keeper 20 times in a game than having 5 total shots overall, just because we've tried going from the back line to the middle, back to the back, all the way to the goalkeeper, hoofing it the whole way forward, getting to their side, getting to one side of the box of whatever winger, passing it backwards again, and then passing the ball inside and then him scoring a tap in, which is more or less the reality of what his goal was in the final minute against Chelsea, in retrospect. I don't want to keep seeing that happening. Like, I thought, like, we've had probably about 2 or 3 managers now where playing around the back was like a mandatory tactic, but De Zerbi has a bit more of an attacking mindset, and I want to see that come out more. I think with the whole preseason stuff, he didn't want to give too much away of how we're going to be maybe pressing a bit higher or pressing more in the middle as well as up high, and we have seen a bit of the one-touch football, the one-touch passing during the preseason, which is good. I want to see more of the one-touch passing so we can get the ball in and around places a lot more. And I agree with this comment. I can't watch the Brentford game with the potential front three that we have at this moment in time. If we actually get the players in that we're going to be talking about, I'll probably want to watch it a lot more. But
okay, I don't know about that. Anyway, Leal's actually been linked with Liverpool today. You know, Leal's been linked with Man City today. Apparently, they might swap Ruben Diaz for Leal. I don't know how true the link is. It's just something I saw today.
I don't know why you'd swap a centre back for a right winger though. That's
well, I don't know. That's just something I saw on the internet. I'm not saying it's true. It's just something I saw. I was just like surprised.
Yeah, you'd think if they really wanted Leal, they would swap a winger just so AC Milan don't miss out on a winger. I know they've got decent enough players anyway, but
because they've been linked with this Palmeiras winger, Alan something. I can't remember his name. Something like Palmeiras, Alan something.
Man City,
haven't they? Yeah.
Well,
I don't know the guy.
Their potential. What's it called? Replacement for Savinho, which they've been waiting 2 years for, apparently.
Yeah.
But if everyone remembers in the winter transfer last season, they bought Semenyo, and he plays on the exact same side as Savinho. So clearly they have their replacement, but they just need someone as a backup, which is what they don't use Savinho for. And even if they did say they needed a replacement or a backup, why did you give Phil Foden a new contract? That's just my question. Anyway, it's. Yeah, friendlies are good.
I think we're done with the.
Let's move on from friendlies. I'm done talking about friendlies. Move on from friendlies.
Yeah, because otherwise, but yeah, I would add Gakpo to this, but I do think the Gakpo thing is sort of dependent on Barcola and by going to Liverpool, which I do think will happen. I just don't know how late it will happen because I do think Gakpo will come to us. I just think it's just the domino thing, but we do have more concrete, obviously news. Marmoush and Savinho in talks with Tottenham. Well, Spurs in talks with City about Marmoush and Savinho. Do you think it's going to happen? And also, where do you see them playing? Because I've had a lot of thoughts recently, but I'll let you go first.
I mean, like you said, it depends with Liverpool and Gakpo. If Liverpool can get one of the 2 PSG kids over the line, then it will free up some movement for Gakpo to potentially leave. And obviously, we want all 3 of them.
They're also going for Minte. He's right. They're also going for Minte as well.
They are going for Minte. Yeah, I saw that this morning. Yeah. So they are trying to get players in to not essentially just to free up space for Gakpo, but they also want to reinforce themselves after the one season wonder of Slot and then getting absolutely trounced the next season. So they do need. Well, what am I seeing here? Well, as we're talking about that, Brighton have just rejected a 50 mil bid for Minte.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
just popped up on my phone. So they've rejected that. Yeah. Clearly, they value Minte a little bit more. I reckon Minte will probably go for 80 or 90 at this point. But we'll see. And then obviously we buy Gakpo for what was it, 70? So they've pretty much got 70 mil off us, so we only have to pay 20 really. But
they might still get Barcola as well because I heard they want 2 forwards before letting him go. I don't know why because I mean Liverpool have got. I guess actually it's kind of true because they let Salah go as well, didn't they? So I guess they do need to.
Yeah, so Salah's gone. Salah's gone. Yeah. So they need another right winger. If Gakpo goes without them signing a left winger even, sorry, they've just got Rio Engamoa. That is it. So it's
Don't worry, he's just trolling.
I don't even know what the fuck's going on there.
Don't worry, I know
I'm
who
just
this
going to
is.
leave it to you.
I know who this is.
I will leave it to you. I'll also leave it to my dog to sit there barking at my back door. But yeah, if they get the winger that they want in, then it leaves room for Gakpo, which then gives us the reasoning to go obviously ahead and buy him. If they don't get him in, then obviously Gakpo's going to stay. So it's going to be it's not just on us to get Gakpo in; it's also on them to get who they want in as well. But the thing with Savinho, well, Savinho we've been talking to since the start of this, and
Have we been talking to him for like 2 years? Sorry,
we've been talking to him for 2 seasons, and we almost done it the season before, but it was the exact same thing of we need a replacement, and now it's still in the exact same thing, even though they have pretty much got their replacement. They've got 2 right wingers that can easily fill his gap, and he doesn't even play anyway, so it's not like he's needed at Man City in the slightest. But that I sort of don't really want to get on. Well, I can't. You have to sort of get onto it because it's the whole reason why we're talking to him. But do I want Savinho? Not only is he 22 and he's still got a lot of years left, if we give him a decent enough contract and a long enough contract, we'll have him in his prime years. So we'll be able to get the most out of him if we get him in now. It's just Man City are being really, really difficult. And the whole thing with Marmoush is he's a left winger / can play striker, but he's not getting over Doku because Doku is, for want of better words, a lot better winger than Marmoush at Man City. Not completely, because Marmoush can do a lot more things than that Doku can't. But at Man City, he's Doku is Doku. He's 10 times better, and that's who Maresca wants to play. That's who Guardiola wanted to play. And if we're talking about strikers, do I need to say any more on that fact? Because no one's going to bench Haaland. That's all I'm going to say. So I think Marmoush also needs a way out as well as Savinho. And we're trying to offer both of them, which would be a great case scenario because Marmoush is already in his prime year of 26 years old. And we'll have Savinho by the time he is 26 years old if the contract is extended to that point. So we need to get these 2 players in now in order to bolster our front line. And then we've got to wait for Liverpool to sort out their shit. And then if we can get Gakpo before deadline day, then that'll be wonders. I think I'd rather a deadline day Gakpo talk than I did when it was deadline day Brennan Johnson talk. And he was finished on deadline day. I don't want to go back to that point, but to use it as an example, it makes a lot of sense me saying it in this sort of context. But do I want both of them? Yes, because it's better than what we've got. We've got one striker who is not always fully fit, but when he is, he can play really well. We've got another striker who is categorically called the slowest striker in the Premier League because every time you try and play a forward ball, he just can't catch it. I've seen this on every single social media. I'm going to repeat it because it's the greatest thing that I've seen. I want to see if Marmoush does come to Spurs, I just want to see him just pop a load of thundercunts and just hit balls and just hit him in top bins. That's all I want to see. That is what it is. What have I just seen on my phone? It's something about Savinho, and I can read it because it's from Eduardo Burgos.
Is that Brazilian guy that recorded it earlier?
Eduardo
Burgos. I literally just saw the same thing. Literally.
Fuck me. Tottenham will pay a total package value of 100 million euros, which equals 85 million pounds for him, who's expected to sign a 5-year contract till 2031, which means we'll have him in his prime years until 27. If we can keep him afterwards and whatever. The deal is expected to be finalised in the next 48 hours. Read into that what you will, because for whoever is watching or listening, Think of that at what you want, because we have been in advanced talks for 2 fucking years with this guy. So obviously this guy is verified. He's very concrete. He knows what he's talking about and knows when to say the right things and what to say. So I'm not going to take that away from him. And when David Ornstein says things as well, especially about both of them, the last couple of times where you've seen it, it has been right. When David Ornstein said something about Tonali, we got Tonali. When he said about Fernandez, we got Fernandez. Same with Robertson, Senesi, Dubravka, John Paul Van Heck, and whoever's out and whoever's going in. Yes, he did say stuff about Arsenal and Vinicius Junior and saying that Vinicius Junior was ready to agree something, but that didn't fall through because everyone knows that Vinicius Junior wants to stay at the best club
convinced him to stay. At least that's what I read.
Of the world. Yeah. So it's not. Sometimes it can be right, sometimes it can't be right. But I think when he has spoken about us getting players, it has been right majority of the time. But being August, they won't let it go that we refuse to let them have Harry Kane. Well, I think. Well, to be fair, I think United wanted him more than City, in all honesty. Just to have that sort of, well, their next Wayne Rooney, I guess, because it's English striker, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think we've all seen the bits. Well, we've all seen the talks of Harry Kane where he said he's quite happy in Munich, and I don't think the itch is there anymore to come back to the Premier League and finish off the all-time Premier League goal scorer. So I don't think we're going to be seeing him again anytime soon. But if we do, we have first dibs on buying him back anyway, regardless. But I think by the point he maybe has that itch come back, he'll be like 48. So there's not going to be much hope for that, I think. But Savinho and Marmoush, better than what we have. We need to get him in. I personally want to get him in. Especially more Marmoush over Savinho, because he's been a lot more prolific than Savinho has. But I don't think I can keep seeing Mikey Moore in the right wing when he is not, for me, 100% ready for the Premier League yet. In terms of having Savinho, who has already played a lot of games in the Premier League and is, dare I say, quite more cemented, if that makes sense.
But so for me with Savinho, like, I don't know how well we remember Aaron Lennon, but that's kind of like the vibe I get from him from watching him. And maybe with some proper coaching and obviously him playing as a natural winger rather than like the Pep system where he just wants them to keep cutting in like Grealish used to do. And, Pep kind of ruined Grealish, I hate to say it. But like maybe Savinho will flourish under De Zerbi. Also with Marmoush, like I want both of them. Like our front line is atrocious, but I still don't really see him as like a striker. In fact, I would have thought if we get Gakpo to play some on the lines like this, to play something like, I don't know, Gakpo in the middle, Marmoush in behind him, then maybe Savinho on the left, Kudus on the right, or some sort of variation of that. Because I think Marmoush, at least from what I've seen of him, bear in mind, like you said, he's not played as much as City. I kind of view him as like a second striker, sort of cam player from what I've seen. I think he can play off the wing, but I don't know how good he'll be in the system. But then we don't really know what kind of system De Zerbi wants to do. But do you think these 3 signings or 2 signings point to the fact that he wants to play like a fluid front three, if that makes sense? Like, because they don't all seem to be strikers, if that makes sense. Obviously, Savino is a winger, but even Gakpo and Marmoush, they're not number 9s I would consider number 9s. Like, Solanke or Richarlison are proper number 9s. Do you think he's going to build a system where it's more fluid? Kind of like what PSG do with Dembele and stuff like that?
No. I mean, I don't really know, actually, because of the formations he's been playing. He's been chopping and changing them all the time. So I think I went to the Hoffenheim game on Saturday just gone. And he played a standard 4-3-3 where you did see Theo Richarlison, Mikey Moore as a fluid 3 all next to each other. And then when you watched us play Hoffenheim again on Sunday, we played a 4-2-3-1 of 3 attacking midfielders, two on each side as like a sort of like a left attacking mid, right attacking mid, and a central guy, and then a striker, which I mean, at first my phone was like, oh, Luca Williams, Barnett striker. I was like, oh yeah, cool, that'd be great. And then it changed it to Madison striker. I was like, all right, don't know what the
Yeah, I
fuck's
saw
going on
Madison
here.
was up front or something like
But
that. Yeah.
I don't know what it said one thing and then changed it to the next one, and it was just really, really weird. But so I don't really know what sort of formation he wants to play. In all fairness, I mean, if Marmoush is going to be playing more of a 10 than he is a 9, then the 4-2-3-1 can easily work with a Marmoush in the middle, just slightly up forward than the rest, with a solo striker of, if Gakpo comes in, then Gakpo. And then you can have Savinho over on the left-hand side, as well as Kudus on the right-hand side, possibly. I mean, if we get all three players in, then a 4-3-3 makes more sense. Of Marmish in the middle, of Gakpo and Savinho, and then our three midfielders probably being Tonali on one side, Fernandes on the other, and then if Maddison's fully fit, he can stick in the middle. If not, we do have a Lucas Bergvall that can still sit there.
We also have Simmons coming back, and the reason I brought up the whole
as well.
Playing Gakpo and Savino, Gakpo and Marmoush is like not like a 2, obviously, like Marmoush behind Gakpo is that. Danny was talking about it on one of the other shows, and he was saying that Simmons played a lot of the time off the left. Went in, where do we sign him from again? In Germany. But so maybe it could be a scenario where I know it sounds weird because unlike unorthodox to play Xavi off the left and Marmoush as the guy in behind, say Gakpo or Solanke or whatever, and then Savino even on the other side or Kudus. Like there's a lot. We bring those three in. You bring a lot of like variations, if that makes sense. Like you can play a lot of different variations in terms of like the front line.
Yeah, I think that's probably what.
If you keep Solanke as like the 1-9, let's say, he can even, like I said, do an orthodox, playing like Xavi or Maddison in the 10 and picking out of the 4. Like Kudus, Savino, and Marmoush, and picking 2 of those 3, let's say, as the wide areas, or Tell even, I guess, and do the variations. Or you can even like move some of those players into the middle, like Gakpo, or like bring those 3 in gives us so many options of variations of like a way to play that front line. Like it's kind of crazy because I was just really thinking about it last night.
Yeah, I mean, something like that, it does make you sort of think deeply into it. I think, we haven't really had a team for a while where we can easily chop and change the formation either at the start of the game or during. So, because if one tactic isn't working, Zerbi can just pick the next tactic and just move everyone around and just put them in different places. So I think having that sort of bit more fluidity and a lot more of like that creative chances to move people about and change things, it does give us a lot more options if we do get these players in. And then obviously when all the players are back, that will also help out with that as well. So in that way we've got the players that he wants to get all those formations sorted out. So he probably has a whole booklet of like many different formations of all the players that are in different variations of where to play them, how they're going to move off ball, how they're going to move on ball, how they're going to create chances, how they're going to sort of sit back and relax when game is so far up there that they don't need to be there, and then he can just say to them, look, get forward while he's up there, and give him other options. I think we're definitely going to see a lot of different variations of Tottenham once all players are back fit and ready, and I think we'll see the exact same sort of thing when it comes to like lower team cup games. Like we got Charlton soon. I think he'll play probably most of the kids that we still have against Charlton, and then obviously by the probably 75th, 80th minute, you'll get some more players through, like get some more actually like full on players through, but yeah, I'm going to be keeping my eye on both Marmoush and Savinho. There was a picture somewhere of a private jet coming out of Manchester heading for London. I'm not reading that far into it. I'm not reading that much into it because we only just got told yesterday.
Were you around when people were following planes? Were you around when people were following planes on Twitter?
Was I around when people were following planes on Twitter?
Basically, You know when
Not
that? Do you
really.
remember
I
the?
just waited to
I
see.
remember
I
which
just waited
transfer
to
it
see
was.
what Fabrizio
Basically,
said.
like, because basically on Twitter, right? I don't know if it was Dybala or someone else, but I remember having this memory or like loads of memories of people like, see when we signed a player, they're like, we're trying to sign a player. They're like watching like, like flights coming in and out of whatever country it was. For example, with Dybala, I think they were watching to see what flights were coming out of like Italian airports to London and saying, oh, he must be on this flight. Or like it was like a really weird thing. And because you mentioned the jet, it came back to me about like people watching planes. I wonder if it's gonna be like this, because like you mentioned with the jet at City, like people are gonna be watching to try and follow where these planes are gonna go to, because like planes from Manchester to London, for example. Okay, it's like a short trip, but like what times are going to be on, like, because obviously this is quite a big thing for us to get Marmoush and Savino from City. Also, does it reminisce you of the time, I hate to bring them up, but this is the only comparison I can think of, when Arsenal brought in Zinchenko and Jesus? Like, do you think Spurs kind of copy that in some ways? Because obviously they were champions. I mean, Savino and Marmoush have been in a kind of championship, won trophies at City. Do you think the same sort of thinking as in targeting both of them? Because they might bring that extra experience.
I mean, it could be that. I mean,
even Gakpo as well. I mean, Gakpo won the league at Liverpool.
Gakpo more than Savinho, because when Savinho came into Man City is actually when Liverpool won the league with Slot. So Savinho actually hasn't won a Premier League. He has won a Community Shield. He has won the FA Cup. So he has been there for those two. Not the Premier League. I think Marmoush might have been. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to start throwing that around, but
it's more like just for them just being around City, if that makes sense. Like, because obviously the Man City culture, I know it might change because of Maresca, but especially being around Pep, I know they weren't playing, but just the whole winning.
They've still been trained by what would arguably be one of the best managers to grace the Premier League, especially with 20 trophies in 10 seasons. That's 2 trophies this fucking season. 5 of those seasons being the fucking Premier League. Like, so they have had a couple of years under Pep, and you can only think a reason for leaving is they're not massively happy with Maresca. I mean, don't get me wrong, watching them lose to Arsenal the way that they did, I wouldn't be happy with Maresca. Like, I didn't think that Man City were going to go, we're now losing our best manager. Who's the best person to replace him with? I know, the guy who got sacked after the Club World Cup for their club and was shit majority of the time. Let's get him in. Yes, he was a prolific under Pep at Man City. So was Arteta. So you can see their reasoning for why they wanted to bring Maresca back. I just don't think everyone's throwing out conspiracies of what's going to happen. People think that Carrot's going to get sacked by Christmas. Maresca's going to get sacked. Exactly. That's all these conspiracy theories that are popping.
Carrot's going to get sacked by Christmas.
Apparently, that's what someone's saying. That's what someone thinks. I don't fucking know. This is not me saying it. This is other people.
What?
I think they said Maresca will either draw or lose his first 5 games. I don't know in what order, but that's one thing.
That's a madness, man.
Then he'll start to pick up a bit. But are we going to see a Man City team when they're not sort of fighting for top spot? But obviously everyone wants to see him fighting for top spot, because I don't think anyone on here that supports Spurs wants to see Arsenal keep winning the fucking league. So, I mean, there's still people thinking that we're going to win the league if we get these 3 signings done. But
that's crazy. That's
crazy. Three players can't make a whole season. It's the whole fucking squad that needs to make the whole season. But I think the last thing I'll probably say with Marmoush and Savino, I want them in. And I want them done before 12 o'clock, because if Zerbi wants them to feature
they need to be done by midday tomorrow.
Yeah, they need to be done by midday tomorrow. And I think if we're going for a double for Marmoush and Savino, that will be the more likely one to get done by 12 o'clock tomorrow. and then Gakpo is going to be probably like either the day
Deadline day,
before
maybe.
or on deadline day. So yeah,
It's strange with Gakpo.
Yes.
Like for me, obviously this was way before we were linked with him. I actually really wanted him at Tottenham, mainly because I've seen him play, at his previous club. Because we actually wanted him before he went to Liverpool, and also I've always just liked him at Liverpool. I think the thing with Gakpo is he can get goals. I'm not saying he's going to score 20, 30 goals, but he can get you, I think, 10 to 15 a season minimum. I felt like also with obviously Iraola coming in and Slot being sacked. And also they had that weird season last year where everyone expected them to like challenge again and they completely fell off. But also Gakpo is like extremely versatile. And I do think like when I'm watching him during the World Cup, I just got the impression that he kind of needed something new. Obviously what happened with his wife as well hasn't helped. Obviously, they had the loss of that child. But so I just feel like, I don't know, I just got that impression that he could be open to a move. And obviously we moved for him now. But yeah, I just think obviously a new manager with Iraola maybe just doesn't fancy him either. But I do think he could be like a really underrated asset for us in terms of like just goals and assists. I really think because I feel like might see Spurs as like a new start for him. So I'm quite like really excited for us to get him, and I do think like you, I think he'll get done but very late because I think I can see Liverpool signing 2 attackers and just letting him go because he's already agreed to join us. It's just a matter of just getting 2 attackers, and I think we'll just pay up and bring him in. Apparently, he's Zerbi is like one of his top targets. At least that's what I keep reading.
What, Savinho?
No, Gakpo.
Oh, Gakpo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think I've read that everywhere as well that he's been a top target. I think he definitely liked him from when he was at Brighton. So, and you can see why. Gakpo he's a really, really good winger. He can get the ball cut inside and he can shoot. So he's one of those players that are very versatile on and off the ball. And he would definitely bolster the squad a lot more because I don't think I can. I do like Tell. I've liked Tell for since he has come in. But we put him into a very, very sticky position when we got him on loan to start off with, because again it was a team that didn't have many wingers. We had some, but he was mainly playing striker, so we needed a winger to fill in that side, and that's why we got Matisse Tell on loan to start off with. Then we won the European trophy. Then we knew Son was leaving, so then we had to keep playing Tell at that left wing spot. And then we started trying to play. We was trying to play him and Odegaard, and then Odegaard got injured, so Matisse Tell was literally getting overworked to shit because that's the only option we had. So I've always said that we need to have a team that has backups. So in that way we don't overwork our players and they still get the decency of rest. Yes, we've got 1 game a week, so players will still get rested because of the one game a week. But I still want to have a bit more of that sort of not really like. No, I'm trying to think of the word to use. Just to give everyone else that peace of, not all the players, a peace of mind that yes, I maybe not be playing every week, but I'm going to still get a decent amount of rest, so I'm 100% for when I actually do come on, instead of being 100% for the first game, then probably about 80%, then going down to about 50, and then completely burning out their tank by the 4th or 5th game. So I want players to have that sort of reassurance that it's not going to be them completely playing every game and working their asses off all the time. But
before we go on to the Brentford game very quickly, I want to bring up Neto because I keep seeing this linked. Apparently, if it fails, we'll get Neto. We're going to go for Neto.
Neto's linked everywhere, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, I think he was spoken about very early on in the window, but it sort of got left alone because I don't think we was really thinking about it as much. So, and then Man City wanted him, and then Chelsea decided to put a fucking massive like price tag of £100 million for a player that has done fuck all for him. It would be like them. It would be exactly the same thing as them saying, "Oh, might as well." What is it? Play. Well, someone can easily pay like 100 mil for Garnacho, even though he is just not worth 100 mil.
He's not very good.
Like no, and Garnacho isn't very good. He's got a massive attitude problem. He thinks he's the next Ronaldo, but in all fairness, he scored one decent goal for Man United, which was the overhead kick. Then done the Ronaldo celebration. Speaking about it, he went to Chelsea thinking he'd get something better off over there. Then got overrun by the wingers that they have, and now he's gone to Aston Villa on loan with an obligation.
Yeah, but like with Neto, for me personally, I've never really saw him as like, I don't know, that great. Like I'd rather get Savino and Marmoush rather than Neto, and Gakpo rather than Neto. But I know Ange was like obsessed with him when Ange was here. He really wanted him. But I still think Neto's going to go to City. Like, I still think it's going to happen, even though I read that they thought he was too expensive. But I just think if they give us Marmoush and Savino for 150 million, that Palmeiras winger surely is going to.
They can warrant the spending of 100 mil or thereabouts for
on Neto,
Pedro Neto, because that could be their now replacement, and then obviously the other player that they're looking at who's like 22 years old could be their future term replacement for most of the wingers that they have in general. So,
and he loves Neto. Maresca really wants him. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, if we got Savinho done early, they could have had Neto already. So they would have it's like. They want to wait to get a replacement before saying yes to anything. But what you could have done is, when we first said anything about it, they could have gone, right, you can have him, and then we'll look for a replacement. Because it's Man City, and not a lot of players are going to say no to Man City, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
they could have had Leao, they could have had Neto by now, they could have had anyone realistically by now, because no one would realistically say no to one of the best English teams in the world. Well, one of the best English teams, should I say.
Yeah.
So instead of waiting ages for a replacement, why not have just said yes? And that way you had the money there to then spend that amount of money that we're giving you on a player that could have been his replacement, instead of waiting until almost the end of the transfer window to say, right, we're going to get this 22-year-old kid in, and now we want to look at Pedro Neto, who we think's too expensive, but if you want to do a double swoop for both Savinho and Marmoush, we can then justify paying for Neto. Could have just
okay. So before you go, because I know you've got to go in a bit, we have to talk obviously about the Brentford game. What are your thoughts going into it? Obviously, I don't know if we're going to have those signings over the line by midday tomorrow, but in general, it's quite ironic because I think we played Brentford away. Whose first game was it? Was it actually Frank's first game last season as well? Am I wrong? Was it Ange's first game? It was Ange's first game, wasn't it? We drew 2-2.
Yes, we drew 2-2 to them. So we haven't got a very good history against Brentford. I mean, last year we beat them 2-0 with Xabi Simons' first Premier League goal. Luckily enough, I was actually there for a win last season. Thank fuck for that. But
yeah.
Do I think we're going to get these signings done by tomorrow? No, because I'm seeing all these things coming out now saying that we're expected to complete Savinho in the next 48 hours. So he's not going to be done from now, like realistically. So 48 hours from now, potentially Savinho can be done. I've seen some of the comments of me saying how is it one game a week? Yes, we have 2 or 3 competitions to play, but if we get knocked out, it's one game a fucking week. That's why I'm broadening it out, just saying one game a week, because there could be a massive reality where we're not going to get very far in the English Cup games. So therefore, it will just be one game a week. There's no European, and there's literally no European trophy, no European competitions that we're in.
Football.
So it's it's just Carabao Cup and FA Cup. That's it. That's all we have. Do I think we'll beat Charlton? Most likely. I hope so. If we lose to them, that's going to be a massive shock of the season. And I'm touching wood just in case we do fuck it up. But so it isn't me saying it. But yeah, realistically, it's one game a week. So there's not going to be a lot of. I know you're being cheeky, but I'm just reiterating myself for the fun of it. So there's not. So we're not going to have a lot of players overworking themselves, but just in the case of we do get a bit further along in these cup games, then it'll be nicer to have backups for the players that we're going to be starting in the starting 11 most pretty much every week. But back to Brentford after my side note. Back to Brentford. We have last year was a 2-2 draw. Well, no, Andrew's first game was Brentford at a 2-2 draw. Last year, I don't remember if we lost away. We could have drawn. I think we drew away again, and then we won at home.
We drew, I think. Yeah, we beat them at home.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure. It's been so long since I've seen club football. I can't remember. But if you can clarify that, that'd be fantastic.
Let me just double check it.
Yeah, go on. Just so I'm not getting my facts right.
Yeah.
Don't want to be throwing out fake news.
Let's see what happens. 0-0 full time on New Year's Day. When we went away, 0-0.
Oh, it was 0-0. Oh, yeah. So we did draw. There you go. Then, so I was right. Yeah. So we drew.
You're right. You're right.
And then we won. I think in March, April.
Yeah, something like that. We won 2-0.
Yeah, we won 2-0, and that was obviously Xavi Simons' first goal for the club, which was fantastic. It was a great goal. But off that topic, last year we was undefeated against them, realistically. And in Andrew's first season, which Brentford was his first game, we drew 2-2.
I remember.
The last two seasons we've we like to draw our first game against Brentford and then hopefully win. But I want with De Zerbi, he's given them a different mindset of he will show them how they play and say, I don't want you to play exactly like this. I want you to play you can play better than this. Go out there and be the best version of you. So hopefully he can instill that into that.
The players.
So hopefully he can instill that into the players for Saturday. So that way we get a better result. But yeah,
what I worry about is I think we're capable and deserving to win the game. What I worry about is without these forwards, I don't think we have the ammunition to actually win it, if that makes sense. I think if we had competent forwards, I think we could go there and get a result. But because we haven't got Savino or Marmouche, or even obviously Gakpo as well, but I don't give us much of a chance to win. I'll be happy. I'll take a draw right now, really, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, I think getting a draw for me will be fine.
It's not bad.
It's not. It's not a shit result. Would you rather have the 3 points? Yes, I think everyone wants to have the 3 points. But I think if we lose, it'll be a shambles, especially with all the players that we've got in. So I want there to be a win or a draw to sort of cement the fact that the Zerbi era has pretty much started.
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable with a draw, and I'm way more comfortable with a win. I'm not going to be comfortable if I'm coming onto either yours or Scarfy's podcast after Saturday and we've lost.
Talk about a loss.
I won't be happy with that. Yeah, I don't want to be talking about a loss. I had enough talking about losses last year. I had enough talking to people about losses the year before. I want to be talking about wins now. I want to be talking about how De Zerbi's integrating himself integrating into this Spurs team, and he's getting shit done and getting this rebuild off and running. So, do I have high hopes? When it comes to defensive midfield, yeah, I know Mickey van der Ven's still a doubt for Saturday, but a lot can change in 24 hours. So I'm hoping to see that he's all right. But I think the back line's probably going to be a Van Hecker and Senesi job if Van der Ven isn't fully fit. It'll be Pedro on the right. It'll probably be I know Ndugi's back in training, but if he's not fully fit, then it's going to be a Robertson left back job. I want to.
I think it will be Robertson.
It will be a Robertson. Kinski will be in goal regardless. not just because Vicario's gone, but I think he's going to be our number one goalkeeper anyway over Dubravka.
It's Solanke, Maddison, Fernandez, and Adogi were all involved in the training session, but Van der Ven was not involved. I've just reading that now. Then. Yeah.
So
Van der Ven's probably not playing.
If Solanke's ready for Brentford, then I'll see him starting. Hopefully, if he's ready, if he thinks that he's ready. If the Zerbi doesn't think he's ready, it's going to be Richarlison starting. I don't know what the formation is going to be like, but I'll sort of want to see it as the 4-2-3-1. Only because you've got a lot more ways of moving those three attacking midfielders around. So if you have, in defensive wise, you can have them all three sat sort of closest to each other. But in attacking wise, you can have the left attacker and the right attacker sort of just move their way up a bit, like over onto the outside to create more space. That's central. If Maddison's back and fine, then he'll probably do a 45-minute job, same as what he did against Hoffenheim. So, yeah, it's.
Well, he's not going. Michael Moore's not going for now, so.
Yeah, realistically, he cannot, because we haven't got anyone to fill the space that he would leave behind. So if he's going to play a 4-3-3 and Solanke's fine to play, it's going to be Tel, Solanke and Mikey Moore. If
he might not want to,
he's all right to start, then it'll be Richarlison instead of Solanke.
Because I think he wants to play Solanke, especially if we're trying to sell Richarlison. Because obviously, if we play Richarlison and gets injured, we can't sell him. So I do think if Solanke's fit, he's going to play him.
That is true. It's definitely going to be a weird looking Spurs game.
11, isn't it?
It's going to be a very, very weird looking Spurs 11. On a different, complete side note, Paulina's going to Benfica. So
I was going to say,
happy for him. Did I want to see him at Spurs? Yes, I think everyone literally broke rule 1 of don't fall in love with a lone player.
Yeah, with a lone player,
especially when he was the major reason why you're still in the fucking Premier League over West Ham. So, did I want to see?
For me, I'm with you. I'm with you. I wanted to sign Paulina permanently. I'm with you. I wanted him permanently as well. Even though, he might not play as much, but it's just more because he's a fighter as well. Like if he wasn't for him, we definitely would be down. To be
fair, I think he probably would have played more than what a lot of people would think. To be honest with you, because he played pretty much almost every game. When where are you moving to? He played pretty much every game leading up to the last game, and he played his heart out every single game that he played under the Spurs badge. And I think that's probably been one of his. It's either been on par with his best season, or it was his best season throughout him playing football at Tottenham. So yeah, he did very well, and I think he definitely deserves the move that he's got now to Benfica, and I think he'll do wonders at Benfica. That's no doubt, because he's not going to play over most of the midfielders at Bayern Munich. He probably would play over Musiala after his diagnosis, but I don't know what Bayern Munich are going to do with him yet. So there's one thing.
I heard they're not buying anyone. They're got that Carl guy, Lennon Carl, and other options they can play.
To be fair, he's going to be one of those kids to watch. 100%.
He's actually really good. I've seen him play.
And if anyone wants to snatch him up in the Premier League, it's probably more or less going to be City with all the money that they have. So that's one person you got to watch if it ever comes to the Prem. But yeah, completely off topic. Brentford. If Mickey Van der Ven's going to be a doubt, so it's going to be Van Hecker and Senesi in the middle. It'll be Porro on the right as always. It will be Robertson probably on the left if Ndougie isn't fully ready and not up to match fitness. If he plays 4-3-3, you're going to see Tonali one side, Fernandez another side, and you're probably going to see Conor Gallagher if Maddison isn't fully fit, and then you're going to see the front three of Tel, either Solanke or Richarlison, and Mikey Moore. If he plays the 4-2-3-1 that he did last Sunday, it will be Fernandez and Tonali sort of sitting next to each other in sort of a defensive midfielder role, with one of them sort of branching off a little bit after the other. You'll see the three midfield attackers of it being Tell one side, probably Mikey Moore the other side, and either Gallagher, maybe a Bergval in that central role that can sort of sit back on defence and then sort of push more forward and let the right and left players move off a bit. And then obviously central striker is just going to be either Solanke or Richarlison. So we've got to see. I don't think there's a predicted lineup as of yet, because for some reason my phone likes to see show me predicted lineups. I can have a look.
Right.
It has got a predicted lineup, and it's pretty much exactly what I said. But for some reason actually no, it's not, because they're not factoring in Pedro Porro in right back. They're actually factoring in Archie Gray instead. And I think everyone knows how I feel about Archie Gray as right back. So the predicted lineup is the 4-2-3-1 that I said from Sunday. Fernandez, Talali in those defensive mid roles with more Gallagher and Tell and Richarlison, but it's putting Gray at right back. I don't get why when Pedro Porro is back in training and he's off his holidays and that. I don't know if he needs to have a bit more training under the Zerbi. I'm not 100% sure. But I don't get why it'll be Archie Gray. It'll be, to be fair, I have they even announced who the captain is? Because
Gray, Gray was the captain I saw in like one of the friendlies. I was like,
Archie Gray's been captain the whole preseason. The whole preseason, apart from the Sunday game where it was. Who was it on that? It wasn't. Let me find it. Hold on. Bear with. Let me go back. Results. Hoffenheim. That was 16th. Who was captain that day? Oh yeah, it was Ben Davis that was captain that day. So, and obviously the day before it was Archie Gray. Where is that? Yeah, Archie Gray was the captain. He's been the captain pretty much the whole time. Let me double check that before I keep going. Yeah, Getafe, he was captain. Chelsea, he was captain. Go to Sydney FC. He was captain again. Against Auckland, he was captain again. I think you're probably getting the gist of it. MK Dons. MK Dons Kinski was the captain. So apart from MK Dons, it's been Archie Gray the whole time, bar the Hoffenheim game on the Sunday where he obviously didn't play because he had played the whole day that on Saturday, and it was Ben Davis. So don't think into that as much, because he's still young, and he definitely needs a bit more time to do that. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think it's going to be a weird one to watch, is all I can say. If we don't, like Savinho's getting done is possibly 48 hours from what I'm seeing. So it's we're not going to have him. It's probably near or thereabouts, not 48 hours for Marmoush, but somewhere along the lines of in the next week or so, if we are very serious about going for both of them. And then obviously I'd probably predict around deadline day for Gakpo. So
yeah, I think that's about right for Gakpo. I don't think we'll get done before deadline day.
So we need that. We've got, those are the three players at the moment that we need to watch, and we need to keep watching that. So yeah, I think Savinho agreed ages ago that he wanted to come to us. He's taken Man City out of his bio. He's not turned up. He hasn't turned up for training. Yeah. He hasn't been selected in squads for the pre-season. So you can see that him and Man City are sort of coming to terms of, he's going to go. So
come to an end.
We need to, it's coming to an end. We need to let him, bluntly, just let him fuck off now from Man City, because he's not going to play. Why are you trying to hold on to a player who not only doesn't want to play for you, you don't even want to play him? So why are you still holding on to him like he's a child's toy that they don't want to get rid of? and they're fucking
Yeah, I
30
know.
like years old, and they're trying to get rid of it in a car boot sale. Like it's been ridiculous for the past
Just
2
let him go,
years,
man.
not just
Let
this
him
year.
go.
Just let him off. Just let him off. Like I see all the
Yeah.
hashtag free Savinho every single fucking day of the week. Like
Yeah.
just free him up. Just let him go. Let him carry. Let him do what he needs to do. But yeah, am I excited for Saturday? Yes, because the Premier League is back. Football
I'm as
is
well.
back. Thank you, Jeff.
Yes.
Jeff Stelling. Football's back. That's what we want. That's what we've all been waiting for. Don't want to keep watching crappy Modus series darts who aren't even relevant in this situation. Don't want to keep watching them. I want to be watching actual football. Don't want to be watching preseason games. Don't want to be watching La Liga games. I watched Atletico Madrid play last night. They scored their first goal in the 68th minute. And one thing that confuses me, right? And I want you to figure this out. Romero's gone to Atletico Madrid. Yeah, he's passed his medical. He's there. He's signed. Money's pretty much been paid. Contract signed. Yeah, he didn't feature yesterday for them in the first game due to a back injury.
What?
Now, how do you pass your medical with a back injury?
I have a back injury. Yeah. Maybe they waived because Redknapp back in the day, they signed a player at Portsmouth, and he said that they skipped the medical. But I can't remember who it was. Like he did it once. I remember. He told a story. I don't know if it was
I know what you're
Carney
talking about. I can't remember who it was now. I do remember.
I think it was Carney or something like that, or Paul Merson or something. They were like, "Oh no, it's fine. We need it for the next day. So just allow the medical. We'll just do it another time."
Should have medical on that day, but he just didn't feature anyway.
Yeah, but this guy didn't play, so I don't know. Romero didn't play. I'm really happy he's gone, to be honest. I'll fed up with him by the end.
There you go.
Anyway, so where can we next find you, Jack? Because you're going on Harry's in 15 minutes.
In about 50 minutes or so, I'll be on Scarfy Spurs Talk podcast with Harry Scarf, the notorious Harry Scarf, who loves to have me on. I don't know why.
Please go check Jack out.
Massive tit there than when I am here. So, and you can find me on TikTok and on Twitter at Jack of All Spurs. I have done a thing for Marmouche and the potential Marmouche and Savinho signing. I haven't got around to doing a video today because one of our double winners from 19 whenever, I can't remember what year it was. I think his name was Terry. I need to remind myself. Yeah, Terry Dyson. Died today at age 91. So rest in peace to a massive Spurs lesson, Terry Dyson. I was meant to do a video on that today, but even though I've had a day off, I haven't really stopped. Been doing loads of stuff around the house before people come home from being on holidays more interesting than mine. So probably tomorrow I'll do my own little video on that, and the same probably with other bits and pieces on there as well. But I'll be doing a lot of things across the season. I've got myself a little microphone for interviews. So I'll be interviewing people outside the stadiums for a little bit. I do a lot of stuff with Harry on his channels everywhere. So you can find me on all those channels. His Premier League one, his Scarfy Spurs Talk one. Obviously do stuff for myself. I do things with Has here. I do a couple of things with Inter Spurs as well. And I'll probably be linking up at some point. Yeah, with TJ. I'll be linking up at some point next season with Harry Hotspur as well. A massive good friend of mine. So I'll be with him a couple of times, doing some interviews with him outside the stadium, hopefully. So a lot to come this season for me, even though I'm still pretty much a beginner. But we've got to wait and see what happens this season.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see if Maresca and Carrick get sacked by Christmas then.
These aren't my predictions. This is what that chatbot says, and everyone throws on Instagram and Twitter and wherever you can find it. Yeah, it was an AI thing. An AI thing said Maresca won't get top 5. Carrick will be sacked by Christmas, and top goal scorer will not be. Who did it say it won't be? It said it won't be Erling Haaland. I think it said something on the lines of top scorer being João Pedro. I think it said, or someone random out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
It did also say on the AI the best signing of the transfer was Vinicius Junior to Arsenal, but everyone knows that didn't fucking happen. So I don't know how long they did this AI thing from, but
Yeah.
Could have changed by now because Vinicius Junior is not an Arsenal player.
Yeah, he's not an Arsenal player. Yeah, so.
Exactly. So where did you pull that out of your ass?
Anyway, so take care, guys, and come on, you Spurs.